Hello Bard haters, and welcome to another fine We Hate Bards Let's Play. I'm Ben, and this is more Fallout New Vegas. So before I actually start off with my normal intro like I do, I want to point out that I made a mistake and kind of own up to it. Because I was just listening back to and editing the videos for Tyranny for the next couple of weeks, and I noticed that on them my voice seemed really quiet and was occasionally drowned out by some of the in-game audio. Which had happened the first week as well, but that was only because I was using a headset. And the headset is really quiet, and it's kind of hard to get that, tuned in properly. This week, the thing that caused it to be really quiet was the fact that in OBS, when I go in to set the audio levels, there are two little bars near the bottom, one for the microphone, one for the in-game audio. And generally what I do, especially with like Tyranny, because Tyranny is really loud, I turn the in-game audio down by using the bar next to the speakers. And I'll do that so that my voice comes through a little clearer. And so you can still hear the in-game audio, but that it won't be like interfering with my voice and you'll still be able to understand what I'm saying. This time I made an error. I turned down the microphone rather than the in-game audio. So even though I'm using the Snowball again, and that generally has better audio quality, it didn't... because I turned it down on the wrong side, it's going to come off really, really quiet. So, I apologize. There wasn't really time for me to go back and re-record. I considered just, recording over it, or, like, trying to re-record it. But that would have taken a lot of extra time. I'd have had to make sure I did everything exactly the same way. And I have to give the computer back in about 8 hours from now, and I still got 2 more videos to record and edit. So, I can't really go back and do that. However, from this point on, any more recordings of Tyranny or whatever else I decide to do on the Fridays, whenever I do that, I promise you it'll actually be appropriate audio levels. But as for Fallout New Vegas, we are getting ready to move on to the first of the 4 DLCs. Because as you remember, at the end of last time I managed to beat the Hoover Dam, and the Battle of Hoover Dam, and did the endgame, and now I'm doing the DLC. So, as for the grand reveal of which of the 3 DLCs I'm doing first, or as you were, 4 DLCs that I'm doing first, in case you haven't figured it out, maybe this should give you a little bit of a hint. So you got a hollowed out rock here that says Sun is Killing Me, you got a gravestone right here that I can't open, and right up here you have the Northern Passage, because we are doing the Honest Hearts DLC first. That is the one I decided to do because, honestly, on hardcore mode, it's not going to be super easy, but it'll still probably be easier than any of the rest of them will. So normally this is always the first of the DLC I do anyway, because as far as I'm concerned, it's generally the easiest. The enemies there aren't too powerful. There's not a lot of crazy shenanigans thrown at you. Enemies don't respawn that quickly, and generally you'll have a lot of friendly help. So it's not too terrible. But there is one little thing that makes it a bit difficult, and that is you have a weight limit going into it. Now, in regular mode, the weight limit isn't too terribly big of a deal. You have a 75-pound weight limit. That is all the gear you're allowed to bring in is 75 pounds worth of just stuff. And if you talk to, there's a guy here, and I'll show you as I go in. There's a guy in here that we can talk to, and that I did already talk to. Yep, Ricky. And if you talk to Ricky, he's a psycho addict, but he also has a few other problems, and specifically, his Pip-Boy doesn't actually work. And if we threaten to expose him, he will offer to carry 25 additional pounds of gear for us. So I already intimidated him, and I made him carry 25 pounds of our extra gear, because he was intentionally traveling light. So that brings us up to a grand total of 100 pounds of gear we can carry. Now, in regular mode, 100 pounds of gear is more than enough to bring a decent set of armor. You generally won't be able to bring power armor, but you can usually bring a decent set of like combat armor or something like that. As well as a couple different guns, a melee weapon, and unarmed, and still have enough to bring like a couple doctor's bags and stealth boys and things. You have 100 pounds is actually more than you'll really need for this. However, the issue is we are not playing on normal mode. We are playing on hardcore mode, as I've covered before. So, that means this is going to get a lot more intense because ammo has weight. And because ammo has weight, I'm going to have to be a lot more picky about what weapons get to come with me. So I'm going to reveal right now what weapons I'm actually bringing. So this is going to be my entire loadout going into it. I should get more as we go, and like the other big thing, once you're in there, once you're actually in the DLC, you don't have a weight limit anymore. Anything you pick up and can use is yours. So there will be a lot of people using 45 cal pistols. There will be a lot of people using like certain, I think 10 mil submachine guns. No, 45 cal submachine guns, my bad. And there will be people using other rifles as well. So I can pick those up and I can use those and I can wield those and do whatever all else. It doesn't matter at that point. But going into this, I have a weight limit of 100. So bringing with me, I am bringing my light machine gun, which has not gotten any use yet. And the reason I am bringing it is not necessarily just because it only weighs 7.5 pounds, although that is a useful attribute of it. The reason I'm bringing it with me is because the ammo it uses is 5.56, and that only weighs, for 174 rounds, which is all I could scrounge up going into this, it only weighs 4.5 pounds. Compare that to, say, for example, my 308 rounds, they're about 3 times as heavy. My 9mm rounds are about the same weight as my 5.56, and to that extent, I'm bringing along Vance's 9mm again, because not only are the 9mm rounds light, so is the submachine gun. And finally, because I know I'm going to need it, I am going to need a long-range sneaky weapon, so I'm bringing my sniper rifle with a suppressor. I also did look. Oh wait, sorry, one last thing. I am also bringing my Ripper as my melee weapon, because my chainsaw would have put me over. Oh good, my controller has chosen now to freaking freak out on me again. So I'm not really liking this new controller I've had to use for this. I used to have an Xbox 360 controller that was wired and worked great. Now I'm using some crappy third-party wireless controller that I got for 20 bucks, which, you know, it's 20 bucks, so fair enough. But it's not the USB key it uses, or a USB insert it uses, doesn't really stick great into things, so occasionally it'll come disconnected for like half a second or less, and then I lose connection and my controller bugs out. So hopefully that doesn't happen here, because otherwise I'll probably die and the run will be over. Anyway, to get back on to what I was saying, I have Vance's 9mm submachine gun, and that isn't modded, but I wanted to look for mods for my light machine gun, my Ripper, and my sniper rifle. They didn't really have any mods for any of them, so instead I just went and repaired them all with, what's his name, back at the NCR Outpost. And so I repaired them, and I'm going to be bringing them along with me. I don't have a lot of ammo for the light machine gun, so I'm going to have to use that sparingly. The Vance's 9mm submachine gun, I have a little bit of ammo, but again, going to have to be sparing with it. The Ripper doesn't really have ammo, but I don't necessarily want to get right up next to people. My sniper rifle is the weapon I'm primarily going to be relying on. And as you can see, I've got the Chinese stealth armor. I brought that with me because it's decent damage threshold for what it is. It actually weighs less than the combat armor, and it allows me to sneak, which is going to be important. The sneaking is going to be more important than me actually tanking, because I'm not really planning to tank a lot of damage. I'm mostly just going to be hiding in shadows and shooting things. And unlike some of my other bits where I was worried about, like, you know, going after the Legion or some of these other guys, where I was worried one shot from a sniper rifle might not kill them, the enemies we're going to be facing here, while they are a little bit nastier in terms of HP, most of them don't really have any damage threshold. A lot of them are animals or creatures that have no damage threshold whatsoever, and the human enemies are wearing really, really crappy armor. So one shot from the sniper rifle, provided they don't see me, especially if it's silenced, is going to mean that they go down in one hit. I also brought the first recon beret along with me because extra crit chance and the bonus to perception is going to be really, really useful. And finally, the one other thing that kind of screws me, the one other thing that means I can't take some of my better weapons with me, is the fact that it's hardcore mode, and not only does ammo weigh things, I need to be eating and drinking. So I had to bring along food and water as well. I brought along about 12, probably about 3 or 4 pounds of food and 7-8 pounds of water. So I got about 12 pounds worth of crap that I don't normally have with me going into this DLC that could have made room for something like, say, for example, my chainsaw. But in spite of all that, we have what we need, we're ready to go. I made sure that my food, water, and sleep were all topped up before I went here. So let's go talk to Jed Masterson and let him know we're ready to go. So he pays you 175 bottle caps at the start. We won't get the rest because he offers to pay you the other half when you get back, but they don't come back with me for reasons we'll see in a second. So they're going to give us a little bit of a background on what Zion is and how it all works. I'm probably just going to cut this part out and we're just going to go straight to the killing. Alright, so here we are in Zion. And there's a bunch of tribals and stuff running around, so they want to make sure that we're ready and prepared. Oh look, 50 more bottle caps. So here they are discussing, we can't go back the way we came. And he realizes that, so we're going to talk to the new Canaanites and hope that they know a way. And if not, we're going to rely on the guy's Pip-Boy when the Pip-Boy doesn't work. I'm sure we'll all be fine and won't be killed by tribals here in a second. How just going to go into stealth mode and take up my sniper rifle for no apparent reason. Oh no, an ambush! I never saw that coming. Holy cow. Everything's exploding! Oh no, I couldn't get to him quick enough. I'm so sorry. I honestly was trying to get to him first. I can't remember. I know you can't save them. I know that they do die eventually, but I don't know if it's just a set piece that they die, or that if, you know, if you kill these guys quick enough, then they just keep spawning until everyone's dead. I think it's the second one. I think they'll just keep spawning more and more until everyone's died. But good news is we finally have some freaking additional weapons at last. Alright, so not the greatest start to our little trek. Everyone in our group has sort of just died. But, bright side, at least we can get all their stuff now. So this is what I was saying. The damage threshold on the white legs, which the white legs are going to be your primary enemy throughout the entirety of this DLC. They're the big bads. They're the one you're going to have to be killing most of the time when you're not killing abominations or animals. And as you can see, the damage threshold on even fully repaired armor is only about 7 or 8. So they're not that tough, and generally go down in one shot if you can get the sneak attack on them. But if you can't, and they get ganged up on you, that's when the issues come. A bitter drink. Ooh, that's going to be really useful. I forgot they had bitter drinks. Crap. I see red. Where is the red at? So if I can go through this area and loot all these guys first, I should have enough to deal with whatever the hell else they threw at me. Ooh, he has grenades and a grenade launcher. Alright, so I've got a couple more decent weapons just in case I need them. Ha! There we go. So there's 2 guys right there, and we should be able to take out 1 guy. His buddy might notice, but he won't see us, so he won't be able to find us. We're in caution. He's going to actually have to come up here, which I don't believe he will do. Move a little bit, and down he goes as well. There was a 3rd one? Where'd you come from? Must have been the other side of the bridge. Oh yeah, go to melee. That'll help you out. Psych. So, with this DLC being what it is and having a weight limit, and me not being able to bring my most powerful gear and my most powerful armor, there's not going to be pull out the chainsaw and just murder everything I see. That's not really going to be a viable option for me at this point. It is largely going to be what you just saw. Me moving very, very slowly and very meticulously through everything I can see, trying my best. What is my perception right now actually with my beret? Because that's the big issue. My perception is a 7. I'd like to have it higher, and there's a couple ways I can use to make it higher if I need to. But generally, I'm going to be relying on my perception to find enemies before they find me, and I'll be sneaking through a lot of this, and then stealth killing them with a sniper rifle. I know I said in the past that's going to be my basic strategy for everything, but it's kind of hard to follow it to the letter. 1, when you're not wearing, you know, the sneaking suit like this, and 2, when you have an arsenal full of heavy weaponry on your back. Now I'm basically going to be forced to do it, and if I screw up, well, that's going to suck. Wait, that's not a 10 mil submachine gun. That's a 45. Who was using a 45? You didn't have a 45. You have some purified water, though, so I'll take that. So repaired where it is. It's not even fully repaired, but at the point it is, 25 damage, 274 DPS. Compared to my 9mm, which is 18 damage, 237 DPS at full repair. So this thing's kind of a monster. Walking along the rickety bridge, nothing can go wrong here. Piss! I'm hidden! You shouldn't be shooting at me! You shouldn't even be seeing me! Right. Okay, so that was a set-piece event.
Don't leave survivors often.
This is where we meet Follows Chuck, who will lead us to Joshua Graham. And this actually leads me into what the DLC was about, because they didn't tell you much in the intro. All they really said was, yeah, there's a legend about a place called New Canaan, and it's got, you know, outside this place called Zion, which they're using biblical names to try and evoke some sort of religious theme. Which is actually kind of cool if you go into some of the lore in this DLC. It's got some interesting bits and bobs. I'll mostly be skipping that. If you want to know what the lore is, then get Fallout New Vegas, get this DLC, play it yourself. It's quite good. But as far as what you missed, there have been talk in the main game, if you've been paying attention, about this guy named the Burn Man, or Joshua Graham, who used to be the legate before Lanius, but then he failed to hold the dam when the NCR came, and to punish him, Caesar set him on fire and kicked him into a canyon. And there have been legends that have gone throughout the entirety of the Legion camp that, oh, he's still alive and he still kills people, but no one's ever been able to prove it. Well, this DLC we're going to meet Joshua Graham, and that's basically all you need to know. I normally don't use companions, and admittedly, in hardcore mode I definitely don't because they generally die. This DLC, I'm probably going to have Follows Chuck with me for most of the DLC. The reason is because every time we go to a summit or a ranger station or anywhere else where you can see things, all nearby areas are revealed on the map, and you get a +3 to your perception for 3 minutes, which will max out my perception. Just checking my sneak, it is 75 with a stealth suit. I'm thinking that when I level up. By the way, I did not go out and kill things to get up to the point I was when I finished the dam. Like, I considered doing that, but then I thought, you know, it's not really worth it. I'm just going to go back to where I was before. I don't think I leveled anyway. So it's still going to be as long to level up as it was before I did the dam. If I did level up, I don't actually remember because it was a few weeks ago. But if I did actually level up, then whatever it was null and void. I'm going to be putting all my points when I level up this time into sneak, because sneak is going to be increasingly important. And I think my guns, yeah, guns is already maxed out, so I don't need to put any more points into that. It is going to be sneak, and then possibly later either melee weapons or medicine, haven't decided yet. I need to make absolutely certain that no matter what happens, they cannot get the drop on me. Because the one negative thing, the good thing about the stealth armor is it gives me a bonus to sneak and it's light. The bad thing, oh, it also has a decent damage threshold. The bad thing is it degrades fairly quickly. It does not take a lot of damage to go down. Like, my power armor can just take, like, grenade after missile after whatever, and still be okay. With my stealth armor, not really so much. Okay, so here's another thing about the DLC, and this kind of plays into the lore a bit, is that I can't remember what this guy's tribe is, but him and like the other tribe we'll see, which is I think the Sorrows, they will hide stuff in logs in case they need it. They'll just like stash things there. Things like bitter drinks, which are really good. They're kind of like stim packs. They work a little bit slower, but they don't have any radiation and they don't weigh anything, so they're generally quite useful. Anyway, as I was saying, there is some pretty good lore to this about the new Canaanites, and I'm actually blanking on it because it has been ages since I played this DLC. I do know it a little bit, not as well as I know, say for example, the Old World Blues or crap. I don't know if he's going to come after me or not. As I was saying, it's been a while since I played this particular DLC. I remember, like, Old World Blues I know a little bit better. What is it? Dead Money I know a little bit better. I've played those fairly recently. Haven't played Honest Hearts that much or recently. And The Divide has been a while since I played as well. Yeah. But I do know one thing we will be facing here a lot. Well, other than green geckos, will be the Yao Guai. And the Yao Guai here are not like the Yao Guai in the regular Wasteland. These ones are freaking nasty. But with my 100 guns and the fact that I can get sneak attack criticals on them if I succeed at like sneaking them, and that it's silenced, as long as I'm staying quite a ways away from them when I do it, I should be alright. If not, I'm going to need the 45 auto. So I was going to have an optional objective here to go all the way to the top of the cliff, which we can do. I need to make sure there aren't any Yao Guai in the area, though. I'm going to have to be very careful. I'm going to be paranoid as hell through this entire thing. I mean, yes, I have made it through the base game, but I kind of want to make it through all the DLC as well. Alright, Yao Guai Cub. I think, actually, if we do all the achievements, we'll get like some pretty decent damage bonuses against them. Granted, it's not really that big of an area. We came in here, we're already here, we've barely moved, and you know, this is the furthest up we'll have to go. We're also not going to be doing necessarily all the side quests. We'll do some of them. We will definitely do some of the different side quests and things, but we're not going to be going through and trying to 100% this DLC. I just don't have the time or the knowledge for that, and I just, you know, it's not something I'm necessarily interested in doing. Well, we got lucky on that one. It's one of the advantages of having Follows Chuck with you. And there's another hollowed out log right here. I forget how many there are. I think there's 30. So yeah, with Follows Chuck, we will now have a ton of different places activated. And let's see the ones it gave us. Two Skies Cave, Virgin River, Old Rockville Bridge. Like I said, this DLC is going to make me paranoid as shit. Because I'm going to have to sneak my ass off through here. Actually, through several of the remaining DLCs, I'm going to have to sneak a lot. This one, Dead Money, The Divide, Big empty, I might be able to go in guns blazing a little bit, but I'm going to need a crap ton of stim packs and some really good armor. I'll probably end up taking my power armor into me, or with me, into the big empty. And using that. I won't be able to do that. Well, no, I can do that in the Divide too, I suppose, but the big empty is going to be primarily where the runny-gunny philosophy comes into play. The other thing that's really got me worried here is... Oh! Well, red dots, those always worry me. Is that a Cazador, or is that just a bloatfly? If it's a bloatfly, no big deal. If it's a Cazador, maybe a bit... Oh, an ant. Bye-bye, ant. Yeah, ants are not a problem here any more than they ever were. Why am I in caution? Did that bloatfly see me? I think the bloatfly saw me. As I was saying, the other thing that's going to make me paranoid in this area is... Oh, shit. Stop interrupting me, game. I'm trying to do my little lead up. What even are you... What's seeing me? Why am I in caution? What are you shooting at? I don't see anything. I just upgraded my graphics card, so this shouldn't be an issue. Okay, dude, you're birding through... Is that a rad scorpion? I didn't even remember there were rad scorpions in the... Well, I remembered a couple. I didn't remember any right there. So, to continue on with what I was saying, the one thing that's also going to make me paranoid, other than just constantly seeing red dots and having follows shock shooting at them, the fact that there are traps, and the fact that my controller keeps screwing... God damn it, you stupid fucking controller. As I've been trying to say for the past 5 minutes, the other thing that's going to make me extremely paranoid is I know for a fact that there are traps in this area, and I don't remember where they are. Okay, so Follows Shock just remembered me of the third tribe that I couldn't figure out who they were, the Dead Horse tribe. The Dead Horse are Joshua Graham's soldiers. The White Legs are just the bad guys. They're kind of like the Legion, except you can't actually join them in the DLC. And then you have the Sorrows, who are led by a missionary whose name I'm blanking on. So those are the 3 factions. And at the end of the game, or at the end of the DLC anyway, we're going to have the option to side with either... I just saw a Dead Horse. Where'd he go? And here's where the traps start. Now, the good news is this lake is completely clean. You can just drink from it. Or river or whatever. You won't get any rads. Nothing bad will happen. You can just drink as much as you want. Ooh. There's a camp right here with a bed. So we should be alright as far as like hunger and thirst are concerned. In fact, I'm not quite sure why I brought the purified water and the food with me. Shit. What's seeing me now? There's not even any red on my map. Yep, he is not joking when he says traps in the water. There are traps in the water. I don't have any clue where they are. Hey, Follow Shock, can you just do me a favor and disarm them all for me? Just go ahead and like, watch for them and tell me, hey, there's a trap. Ah, there's one. There's a bear trap. Okay. That one's easily enough avoided. Actually, you know what? If I don't disarm this... Yeah, I knew if I didn't disarm this, I'd forget about it, and on the way back out, I'd run into it. I also want to say that there's mines in the water, but I'm blanking on whether or not there are. I'm going to think there aren't, I'm going to get comfortable, and then just when I think I'm good, they're going to blow up and kill me. You watch, that's what's going to happen. That's how I'm going to go. Cause of Ben's death, cause of the ultimate ending of the Permadeath run, is going to be Ben doesn't find a mine in the river and it kills him. I really hope that's not how it goes. I got 3 more freaking DLCs that I got to get through yet. So if I die on the very first one, that's going to suck. I'd like to at least get through this and maybe one more before I die, and chances are that's what's going to happen. Chances are I'm going to make it through this DLC, maybe the next one, and then the third one's going to be what gets me. So I think we're good on traps, but I'm not going to let my guard down just in case. Now we're good. There are no more traps because we are in their camp now. So let's go talk to Joshua Graham and see what he wants us to do. So they're going to be speaking to me in some language that I don't understand. But with an intelligence of 7, I can determine that what they're saying is, are you looking for Joshua Graham? And I will say yes. I'll make sure to be on my best behavior. And I will, because Joshua Graham is kind of nasty. I have aggroed him and attacked him before and done other things. He's not a fun fight if you do that. And it looks like Joshua Graham has been expecting us.
I pray for the safety.
And we got Joshua Graham just going through and examining all the 45 pistols.
can't expect God.
Because that's the thing, all the dead horses have 45 pistols. Lord knows where he got like this massive stash of 45s, but especially when there are no other 45s anywhere in the Mojave. But never mind, Joshua Graham. Maybe he just like shit them out. And this is where they reveal that New Canaan is no more. The Whitelegs and Caesar's Legion managed to destroy them. And interestingly enough, Joshua Graham now hates the Legion. Daniel. Daniel is the leader of the other camp, the Sorrows. And he's the one, he's a preacher. He's one of the possible victory routes. Because we can either side with Joshua or we can side with Daniel for how we get the two tribes out of this. So, with that, we're going to complete a quest. It's going to complete the Quest Completer quest, or Quest Completer challenge. And we're going to get a bunch more experience. And it's going to unlock 3 different quests. That is actually one thing I do remember about this. There are 3 sets of 3 quests that we have to do. Joshua will give us 3 quests, Daniel will give us 3 quests, and then I can't remember where the 3rd set of 3 comes in. And then it's like the end of the DLC. But to start out, we've unlocked Roadside Attraction, Gone Fishing, and Tourist Trap. But I'm not actually going to do any of those things right now. We're about time to end, and I kind of want to keep these videos still relatively short. So I'm going to call it right here, and next time we'll do the first set of 3, maybe the first 2, because I don't remember how long the first set of 3 is going to take. It might only take, 45 minutes, an hour. It might take 2 hours. Can't remember, and especially it's going to depend on how long I spend sneaking and trying to find my way around things. If that's the case, I might end up just making each set of 3 one episode, and then go from there. But we'll have to see. I don't know how many episodes this is going to be. It might only be 3. It might be 5 or 6. We're going to have to wait and see. I will try and go through as quickly as I can. But again, I'm going to be sneaking, and that's slow going, and it's monotonous, and I got to be careful, and a lot of other factors have to go into that. But we'll get to that when we come to it. In the meantime, thanks as always for watching, guys. I was Ben, and this was Fallout New Vegas Hardcore Permadeath. See you next time, everyone.